Hello everyone, this is EGAxslav, and we are going to look at a game between Noni and EGAxslav. EGAxslav. This was a game played in the third round of MLG in Dallas, so it's a pretty interesting game. Got some very distinctive play styles. And just so you know, if you can tell, my voice is a little bit weak right now. It's kind of trashed because I'm fighting off like my first cold of the season, and anytime I get a cold, it's like almost always respiratory, so it's in like my throat and my lungs and everything. So oh gosh, having a hard time talking and breathing, but anyways, I'll make it alive. But I did want to bring you this fantastic game. It's a PvP. We're on Steps of War, and in the lower left here, playing as the red Protoss, we have LiquidTyler, aka Noni. If any of you guys know him as Noni, he is now playing as LiquidTyler. Very, very strong Protoss player. And then his opponent here, EGAxslav, sorry, his clan or team name is EGA, which I did not look up what that stands for. I'm not familiar with that team, though, unless it's just for maybe that's Evil Genius's EGAxslav. That would make sense. But anyways, both players putting down their gateway at relatively the same time, just getting pylon gateway right away. You can see Noni is just a little bit ahead, and I'm sorry, I'm going to try to refer to him as LiquidTyler. I'm just so used to calling him Noni that it may slip out a few times, but LiquidTyler rather, just a little bit ahead on his gateway timing, but both players are already going for that assimilator as well, and immediately LiquidTyler going to get in there and start harassing, and EGAxslav is going to have to pull off a probe to prevent him from doing too much damage to this pylon. Of course, you don't want to take any damage on those first few buildings, and setting down his second pylon as we look at LiquidTyler's base. He's actually not putting down his second pylon just yet. As for right now, he's just getting that cyber core up and running, so getting his cyber down a lot earlier. As you can see, his is just about halfway done now, and EGAxslav just now setting his down. So both players differentiating just a little bit, and Noni getting his second pylon now. And as you can see, he timed it very well, not producing any zealots. He's going to wait for a cyber core to get his stalker up, so that way he can chase out the scouting probe if it decides to stay. Although it looks like it may be, no, I'm sorry, it's coming back in right now possibly. But using that stalker is actually fast enough to keep up with the probe, and since he wasn't producing any zealots or anything else, he knew his timing perfectly, obviously, for getting that pylon as late as possible, getting that cyber core out just a little bit earlier, which of course, as you can see, lets him start his research for his warp gate technology a little bit earlier as well. Meanwhile, we do see that EGAxslav is also getting out a stalker, trying to chrono boost that out so that we can get the probe out of here, and usually you don't see the definitive tech patterns from these Protoss players until they've managed to chase out that scouting worker, because of course they don't want their opponent to know if they're going DT tech or Stargate tech or Robo tech. Hiding that tech is very, very important in a PvP, because of course in a mirror matchup you have to do absolutely everything you can to get a small advantage. And it looks like LiquidTyler moving up in here, going to back off. He did manage to get in the first shot on that stalker, so if he really wanted to, he could have actually won that battle, but apparently going to back off and keep the scouting pro from getting back into his base if he can. And it's going to get up the ramp. Is it going to actually see any of this tech? No, it does not manage to get back here. And it looks like LiquidTyler going to continue to just produce out of 2 gateways for now, cranking out a lot of stalkers pretty early on, and there is another pylon going down closer to the entrance here, going to act as a little bit of a scout, as also providing him the ability to warp in forward on his base here, whereas right now his only pylon power is back towards his main. So obviously warping all your units in all the way back here and having to walk them up to the front of your base or to your opponent, not as ideal as having a forward position to warp into. And it looks like both players relying very heavily on Stalker armies right now. A third gateway going up for EGAxslav, and it looks like EGAxslav is going to be possibly moving out with 4 stalkers, but there are 6 stalkers currently for Noni, or LiquidTyler rather. I'm sorry, I just did that again. And he's going to move out with that and try to do a little bit of damage, although by the time he gets down here he may not be able to really do much, because as we can see there are currently 5 stalkers for EGAxslav, and even warping in another stalker and a zealot. So it looks like LiquidTyler is outnumbered as far as army size goes, so going to be able to get in there, and even a sentry getting up here, so he has the possibility to cast a force field if you want to. And LiquidTyler realizing that since he is outnumbered, outmassed, he is going to have to back off, and EGAxslav moving out here, checking to see if Noni's army is waiting out in his natural base where he can possibly catch him out of position. I'm sorry, excuse me. There's that cold for you. But Noni actually warping in a round of zealots here. He's got 5 zealots now, which is pretty decent amount of Zealots. No sentry yet for him. So it looks like rather than relying on casting in order to keep the advantage, he's just going to go with straight brute force, relying strictly on Zealots and Stalkers here. And it looks like he is going to be able to force EGAxslav to push back, getting a few good hits in on a couple of the Stalkers there, and even making killing that scouting worker, keeping him from getting into his base to get any intel. And EGAxslav, it looks like, getting up a Twilight Council, so we could possibly see either some DT tech would be a pretty popular option, or he may just be going for a Blink Rush. And as we can see, he did start researching Blink immediately after finishing, although no, he canceled it, and he's actually going to go for DTs. So very interesting decision. He did waste a Chrono Boost on this, although as you can see, he has plenty of Chrono Boost energy and even actually a bit supply blocked right now. He does need to get some more pylons out here so that he can get himself unsupply blocked. But it looks like LiquidTyler possibly going to be getting ready to move out here. And wow, going back to LiquidTyler's base, he is also getting a Dark Shrine right now, although his is almost done. So he's going to have a huge lead as far as the DTs getting them out on the map right now, and neither player having detection. As you can see, there is a forge going down for sorry, there is a forge going down for EGAxslav right now, but he still does not have any cannons on the map, just now finishing. And it looks like he is going to actually be getting 2 forges, which is quite peculiar here. I'm not sure why he's going for 2 forges. But here comes the first DT from Noni. 2 DTs actually in here, and it looks like he's going to force EGAxslav to back off here. And these DTs are going to soften up a lot of this army, it looks like, and immediately throwing down some cannons in the middle line, or at least just 1 cannon right now. I'm not sure why he hasn't tried to actually get back there with the DTs yet. Of course, chipping down on the army would be a great idea, but getting those workers would be even better. And it looks like that cannon is going to finish in time to help defend this. The second one going down right now as well. And the Zealot's just taking a ton of damage from those DTs. And I'm not sure if LiquidTyler is aware of the DT tech, or if there's any DTs on the map right now. He obviously sees the Dark Shrine. Oh, but it looks like EGAxslav is still supply blocked. He did not manage to get up enough probes, or pylons rather, in time. So he is not able to warp in any DTs for a little bit, and there comes the first DT warping in a second one, and Noni is going to have to back off because he does not have any mobile detection.